Part B. The company trials a new production method. It needs to check that the mean is still 16 kilograms. It assumes the standard deviation is unchanged. The company takes a random sample of 25 and decides to reject the new method if the sample mean does not round to 16 kilograms to the nearest 100 grams. Find the probability that the new production method will be rejected if, in fact, the mean is still 16. Now, this isn't tricky, but it's horrible because they've just given it in such a wordy way. You've got to really just unpick what this question is asking you and telling you. Okay, so let's have a think about rounding to 16 kilograms to the nearest 100 grams. What does that actually mean? Okay, so I'm just going to draw you a little number line. 16 kilograms. 100 grams below that would be 15 kilograms 900 grams. 100 grams above that would be 16 kilograms 100 grams. Okay, the halfway points are the bits that you need to identify then, because that's then the bits that would round to 16. If you round down or round up correct to the nearest 100, you basically need to be the 50 in between. Okay, so we need 16 kilograms and 50 grams as our upper limit, which is 16.050 if you like, or just 16.05. And then the 50 grams below would be 15 kilograms 950 grams, which would be 15.950 if you want. Okay, so it's between these two values. Okay, so think about what that actually means. We can work out the probability of this happening. Okay, so let's have a think about it. We've got a random sample of 25, so we're doing the probability of the mean. So rather than saying X, we're going to say X bar is normally distributed with a mean of 16, because we're checking that the mean is still 16 by working out what the probability of this particular outcome is. The standard deviation changes when we are working out the probability of the mean. It changes, and it's the old standard deviation by the square root of n, which is the number in the sample. So our new standard deviation is 16, and then we've got, let's just work that out, 0.08 divided by root 25 is 0.016. That's our new sigma. Okay, so we're going to work out the probability of, well, first of all, it's probably easier to say what's the probability that it does round to 16 kilograms. Okay, so X bar does round to 16 kilograms, which would be the probability that we are in between 16.05 and 15.95. Okay. So if we work out that, we do this again on NCD because we're working out probability. So we want 15.95 as my lower, 16.05 as my upper. My new sigma is 0.016, or you can just type it in as 0.08 over root 25. And my mu is still 16. Okay, so that gives us 0.99822. So what we've basically got is we've got a very high probability of being in between 15.95 and 16.05. Okay, that's this bit. What we actually want is the probability of being outside. So what's the probability we're in this bit or this bit, the two tails, okay? Because that's when we would reject the new production method. So the probability of being outside, okay, in the two tails is just 1 minus this answer that we had here. So that's 0.00178. So it's a very low probability that we would reject the new production method. The chances are that the mean of our sample is going to be rounding to 16 kilograms, and it's a very small probability it won't. So realistically, we didn't have to do anything too complicated, but we do have to remember, as soon as we see a number in a sample and it talks about the mean of the sample, okay, that's when we've got to remember we've got to change the sigma, okay, as we do our calculations.